XRP is heading into one of the most important regulatory windows it has seen in years. The Clarity Act advancing in the Senate is the first real sign that Washington is ready to define digital commodities in a way that actually sticks. And once you understand how regulation, flows, and institutional behavior line up, the entire XRP picture becomes a lot clearer. So today, we're breaking down XRP's current setup. The Clarity Act moved forward in the Senate. ETF flows flipped positive, while Bitcoin and Ethereum saw outflows. Prices sitting on the 120 support zone with RSI near oversold, and the institutions are positioning ahead of the regulatory decision instead of reacting to it. This week showed you exactly how XRP behaves when regulation becomes the main driver. XRP's market structure weakened on the surface but tightened underneath. Price lost the 130 support and moved into the 118 to 120 demand zone. RSI pushed towards oversold, volatility compressed. This is a structure that usually precedes a catalyst-driven move and not a technical one. Short-term traders focused on the breakdown, long-term structure focused on the setup. The demand block held, momentum cooled, and the chart reset without losing the broader trend. XRP ETF saw millions in inflows, while Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs saw outflows. That kind of divergence stands out because it shows where capital is quietly moving. Institutions are adjusting ahead of the regulatory decision instead of reacting to the price. Short-term flows stayed neutral, long-term flows leaned positive. It's the type of shift that usually shows up before the narrative catches up. Standard Chartered projected billions in potential inflows if the Clarity Act passes. That projection comes from how institutions allocate when the rules are clear. They respond to frameworks, compliance pathways, and the ability to take positions without regulatory uncertainty hanging over them. Institutions move when the environment supports it, and the recent inflow shift shows they're preparing for that possibility. On the tech side, nothing changed. XRP is still built for settlement at scale. Liquidity routing, cross-border movement, and institutional rails remain the core of the asset. Sentiment shift as analysts recognize the regulatory window opening. XRP didn't rally, but the ecosystem around it strengthened. This is the difference between price action and adoption. Price cooled, but the narrative strengthened, and the flows confirmed it. XRP did not break out this week, but it definitely tightened. The next move depends on three things: how the Clarity Act progresses in the Senate, how ETF flows respond to regulatory signals, and how institutions position into the 120 support zone. Now, if the bill passes, XRP gets the clearest regulatory lane it has had since 2017. If it stalls, XRP still has the inflow divergence and oversold structure to work with. Either way, the next move depends on Washington. Now, if you want a clean framework for reading weeks like these without getting lost in the noise, it's exactly why I wrote Understanding Crypto. It breaks down how flows, structure, and sentiment fit together, so moments like this stop feeling random. Of course, I'll put a link in the description. And if this helped you see XRP's setup more clearly, Like the video and drop a comment telling me how you feel about the Clarity Act. Your take helps shape what I cover next, so please share this with someone who is trying to understand how regulation actually moves crypto. And make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next breakdown. Stay locked.